And it was, that when Yahshua had finished all these words he told his disciples, "You know that after 2 days it is Passover, and the Son of Man will be betrayed to be crucified." Then the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people were gathered together to the court of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, and they held a council about Yahshua, so that they might seize him by deceit and murder him, and they were saying, "Not during the feast, so there will not be a riot among the people." And when Yahshua was in Bethany in the house of Shimeon the potter, a woman came near to him who had with her a vase of oil of sweet spices, very expensive, and she poured it on Yahshua's head as he reclined. But his disciples saw it, and it displeased them, and they said, "Why this waste? For it would have been possible to sell this for much, and it might have been given to the poor."
Why do you trouble the woman? She has done a beautiful deed for me, for you have the poor always with you, but you do not have me always. But she who has poured this ointment on my body has done it as for my burial. And truly I say to you, that this my gospel will be preached in all the world, and also what she has done will be told for her memorial.
Then one of the 12, who is called Yehuda Iscariota, went out to the chief priests, and he said to them, "What are you willing to give me if I shall deliver him to you?" But they promised him 30 silver coins, and from then on he sought opportunity to betray him. On the first day of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Yahshua, and they said to him, "Where do you want us to prepare for you that you may eat the Passover?"
Go to the city to a certain man and say to him, "Our rabbi says, my time has come, I will perform the Passover at your place with my disciples."
And his disciples did just as Yahshua ordered them, and they prepared the Passover. And as they ate, when it was evening, he said to them, as he reclined with his 12 disciples, "I say to you that one of you will betray me." And it grieved them greatly, and they began to say to him, each one of them, "Is it I, my Messiah?" But he answered and said,
It would have been better for that man if he had not been born. But woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. And the Son of Man goes just as it is written about him. Whoever dips his hand with me in the dish, he will betray me.
Yehuda the traitor answered, and he said, "It is I, Rabbi?"
You have said.
And as they ate, Yahshua took bread and blessed and broke, and he gave to his disciples, and he said,
Take, eat, this is my body.
And he took a cup, and he gave thanks, and he gave to them, and he said,
Take, drink from it, all of you. This is my blood of the new covenant, which is shed in exchange for the many, for the release of sins. But I say to you that I shall not drink again from this fruit of the vine, until the day in which I shall drink it with you new, in the kingdom of my Father.
They sang praises, and they went out to Torzitha, and Yahshua said to them,
All of you will be offended at me this night, for it is written, I shall smite the shepherd, and the sheep of his flock will be scattered. But after I am risen I shall go before you to Galilee.
Caiaphas answered and said to him,
Even if every man will be offended at you, I will never be offended at you.
Yahshua answered him and said,
I say to you that in this night, before a cock will crow 3 times, you will deny me.
Caiaphas said to him,
If I should die with you, I would not deny you.
So also all the disciples said. Then Yahshua came with them to the place that is called Gethsemane, and he said to his disciples, Sit here, while I shall go and pray. And he took Caiaphas and the 2 sons of Zebedee, and he began to be saddened and to be disheartened.
My soul has sorrow even to death. Wait for me here and keep watch with me.
And he withdrew a little, and he fell upon his face, and he prayed, and he said,
My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass by me, however not as I will, but as you will.
And he came to his disciples, and he found them as they slept, and he said to Caiaphas,
Could you not keep watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray, lest you enter into temptation. The spirit is ready, but the body is weak.
Going again the second time he prayed, and he said,
My Father, if this cup cannot pass unless I drink it, your will be done.
And coming again he found them while they slept, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them, and going on again he prayed the 3rd time, and he said the same thing. And he came to his disciples, and he said to them,
Sleep now and rest. Behold, the hour is come. The Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Arise, let us go. He has arrived who betrays me.
While he was speaking, behold, Yehuda the traitor, one of the 12, came, and a great crowd with him, with swords and clubs from the presence of the chief priests and the elders of the people. And Yehuda the traitor had given them a sign, and he had said, Him whom I shall kiss is the one, seize him. And at once he called Yahshua, and he said, Shalom, Rabbi. And he kissed him. Then Yahshua said to him,
Have you come to this, my friend?
Then they came and they laid their hands on Yahshua, and they took him. And behold, one of those who were with Yahshua reached his hand and drew his sword, and struck the servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. Then Yahshua said to him,
Return the sword to its place, for all of those who take up swords will die by swords. Do you think that I cannot ask my Father, and he would raise up for me now more than 12 legions of angels? How then would the scriptures be fulfilled, that it must be so?
At that moment Yahshua said to the crowd,
Have you come out as against a robber with swords and with clubs to seize me? I was with you every day in the temple sitting and teaching, and you did not arrest me.
But this happened that the scripture of the prophets may be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled. And they who arrested Yahshua led him to Caiaphas the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were gathered. But Shimeon Kepha was going after him from a distance unto the court of the high priest, and entering he sat down inside with the guards to see the outcome. But the chief priests and the elders and all the assembly were seeking witnesses against Yahshua, so that they might put him to death. And they did not find them, though many false witnesses had come, but finally 2 came forth, and they were saying,
This one said, I can destroy the temple of Yahweh, and in 3 days I shall build it.
And the high priest stood and said to him,
Do you not return an answer? What are these testifying against you?
But Yahshua was silent, and the high priest answered and said to him,
I adjure you by the living Almighty that you tell us if you are the Messiah, the Son of Yahweh.
Yahshua said to him,
You have said, but I say to you that from this hour you will see the Son of Man who sits at the right hand of power and comes on the clouds of heaven.
Then the high priest ripped his garment and said,
Behold, he has blasphemed. Why now do we need witnesses? Behold, now you have heard his blasphemy. What do you think?
They answered, and they said,
He deserves death.
And they spat in his face, and they were beating his head, but others were striking him and were saying,
Prophesy to us, Messiah. Who is it that hits you?
But Kepha had sat outside in the courtyard, and a maidservant came near him, and she said to him,
You also were with Yahshua the Nazarene.
But he denied before all of them, and he said,
I do not know what you are saying.
And when he went out to the porch, another maidservant saw him, and she said to them who were there,
This one was also there with Yahshua the Nazarene.
And again he denied with an oath.
I do not know the man.
After a bit, those standing there came, and they said to Kepha,
Certainly you also are one of them, for your speech reveals you.
And he began to curse and to swear.
I do not know the man.
And at that moment a cock crowed. And Kepha remembered the word of Yahshua that he had told him.
Before a cock will crow 3 times you will deny me.
And going forth outside he wept bitterly.